Let's just do it. Let's just get a massive round table talking about things. Yancey and you are coming in. All right. I'm sending it to you guys on Discord. So if you want to come in, you can come on in. Callan, just jump in. Don't worry about it. We're going to do this. So this is PitchCon, guys. We are not going to stop just because we have to change one thing. We've got Chu coming in. TC,
Hey.
you're welcome as long as you can.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. Asher, come on. Come on in. All right. So what we're going to do for the next hour, we have, by the way, coming up at 5 o'clock, it's going to be potential 2021 Fantasy Breakouts panel. Casey Bubba, Scott Pianowski, Drew Silva, Max Greenfield, and Jason Collette. Max, if you're listening right now, you want to jump in right now instead of that one, by all means, we can figure this out. But anyway, I just want to give another shout out to TC Zenga. That was a fantastic presentation. We got through all the hoops and obstacles. We forgot about it by the end. That's what mattered. I'm going to bring in Michael Ahedo now. Hey, what's up, Michael?
What's up? I can hear you twice, so I need to super not let that happen.
We're going to bring in Asher.
All right, there we go.
What's going on, Asher Drittel? So if you guys don't know these people, obviously you know Chewy just presented. Michael Ahedo is a Going Deep manager here at Pitcherless. You also can find him on Lookout Landing. And now at 2 podcasts on the Pitcherless Podcast Network, Never Sunny in Seattle. I wore my Never Sunny in Seattle shirt 2 days ago. It's awesome. And, of course, Clubhouse and Nap Time with Andrews Jorstad, the first one with Andy Patton. And then we have Asher, otherwise known as Lorax, longtime Pitcherless Plus supporter turned We Love Baseball contributor here at Pitcherless. And also, you might remember from all the presentations at any New York City event, he's always there asking fantastic questions. So the first question I have for you guys, I want one bold prediction for the 2021 season. I'm going to start with you, Asher.
Oh, God. I was hoping I was going to go last.
Nope. Going with you first. Bold prediction. All right, fine. I'll go first. I think that the Royals are going to make the playoffs. They have a fantastic rotation, surprisingly, that is above water. You have Danny Duffy, who has been an ace Toby for ages. You have Brady Singer, who Ahedo can probably talk a little bit more about, but I think that he is going to be a stable force in that rotation. Mike Minor had a 200 strikeout season as recent as 2019. You have Chris Bubich, who's not bad. Like, there's actual good stuff there. If he gets the polish together, you could maybe see that by the second half. And you have one other starter that somehow I am completely forgetting about right now. Brad Keller, duh. If that secondary pitch gets in order, you can see some good things there, especially if he gets a 94-mile-per-hour velocity on it. Brad Keller could be a surprise. And that offense is very much boom and bust. Obviously, Mondesi, as we talked about before, with Scott Chu is good. Whit Merrifield, just an all-around excellent player. You have Jorge Soler, who had 49 home runs in 2019. Carlos Santana, who is an on-base expert or machine, I should say. You have Hunter Dozier there, who actually has surprising amount of value as well. They did trade for Andrew Cordero, but they got back Benintendi, who could hit the reset button and be a very solid number 2 hitter for them. We'll see maybe if that gets pushed up there as the season goes on. But yeah, I think the Royals are surprisingly good. It does look like Garrett Holland is the closer, and maybe that bullpen is their weak point. But I don't know. I get like it's supposed to be bold and bold and bold. Let's see. Maybe they can make a push at it. I'm just going to throw that one out there. Ash, I'm going to go back to you now. I gave you some time.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have anything that bold. I'm desperately looking at who I don't know. I feel like all the Pacoda stuff and all the forecasts that have come out seem generally accurate.
That's it. That's all you got.
Yeah, I guess my bold prediction is that all of the fancy smart math people were right. If it can be like super team specific,
for the record.
Yeah. If it can be like super team specific, I bet Zach Britton has a better year as a reliever than Chapman does for the Yankees.
Ooh.
I don't know how bold that really is, but
okay. I can see that. I can see that. We're bringing in some extra people. We're bringing back TC. We got Callan Elslager as well. What's up, Callan?
How's it going, Nick?
It's going great because you're speaking right into the mic, and I can hear you much better because of it. And it's very good.
This comes with practice, all from your teaching.
There. But Callan, of course, new podcast, Command the Zone, CMD the Zone with Callan, Mary, and Daniel. That's why it's CMD. Really nice roundtable discussion. Definitely check that out on the Pitch This Podcast Network. And of course, Callan's articles on the site are great. Asher, that was a solid bold prediction. I'm going to go to you, Scott Chu. Who is your pick as you are on mute?
So my bold prediction, and maybe it's not bold, but I think Kyle Tucker makes a run at the AL MVP. Love Kyle Tucker, and I wish I had like some fancy stat to tell you why that's going to happen, but a lot of it was just from watching his at-bats. What I really liked about watching Tucker was I felt like he was always fighting through all of those at-bats, and it took forever for him to get like a real, like legit spot, because for some reason the Astros just liked playing Josh Reddick every single chance they got, but he's gone now. He's been gone, right? So Kyle Tucker's really got a chance to take off. I think I ranked him very well for our site. And I actually felt like I was being conservative. Like I wanted to keep bumping him up as much as I could, just because I think he could really be like at his peak, like a 30 home run, 30 stolen base guy. Just love him to death and everything I think he's able to do. So I'm really pumped. And I also think the Tigers, I think it'd be bold to say that they might be the third best offense in their division. Like they're not going to be as good as White Sox or the Twins, but hey, maybe they are. A lot of interesting pieces there. A lot of like scraps that they're pulling together to try to make something happen. Love that they signed guys like Renato Nunez, right? Bring back Jonathan Scope, hit a bunch of dingers, right? Like with guys that only do that. I think they could be surprisingly exciting.
How can you say that after I just say the Royals are going to make the playoffs, and then you're like, oh, the Tigers are the third best offense? I just feel so hurt, Scott Chu, but no, great call there. Ahedo, what do you got?
All right. So I think I got something a little spicier. I think my bold prediction is that Tyler Mahle gets an NL Cy Young vote.
Do you like Tyler Mahle?
I do, and I think I'm going to have him incredibly high on my list. Like I think you'd be shocked if you saw where I have him right now.
So what are we talking here? Like top 25?
I'm not telling you. You're gonna have to find out
We're
on.
gonna have to just wait for his panel
Sunday
on Sunday.
At 7 EST. I don't know what time it is,
Yeah,
but
I think 7 EST. Yeah.
Yeah, and the crux behind that is essentially he's always been a guy with really elite command, like top 10, top 15. He has been kind of going in between, what pitches he wants to throw, but now he's, I think, really found something. Obviously, like the increased fastball ride did not hurt, but his fastball's really pitch now, and it's something that he can lean on, a la, Brandon Woodruff or someone like that. And then he's also got the slider and the cutter and other offerings. So I think he's got a ton of upside, and the ability to be able to spot those pitches should be able to help mitigate hard contact as well.
I hope you're right there. I do remember a couple starts last year where he was just inefficient. Unfortunately, I remember the Twins start where they had to pull him early because of it. There obviously are tweaks still to make, but he certainly expressed his ability to just dominate with that four-seamer. And yeah, that slider / cutter, I think I saw PitchFX and Pinch Info not agree in StatCast on what that pitch is.
Yeah,
I think it's a slider. I don't know. I'm just going to call it that. Can be a really, really good offering. And if you can, continue to keep that down, that can be a very, very strong pitch. That's all you need. You only need 2 pitches as long as you always have those 2 pitches. So hopefully Tyler Mahle becomes that. He will still have a good schedule, right? Like it's the NL Central still, and that's not a great division. I mean, obviously not as much as like a percentage of the schedule as it was last year, but still.
It's wild. Like the PECOTA and Fangraphs projections on the 2 or on that division, they just have no idea what's happening. So
nice. All right, we're gonna go now to TC Zenka. What is your bold prediction for 2021?
I gotta stay in the NL Central there, and I think the Cubs rotation, I have no numbers to back this up. I think the Cubs rotation is going to be better than it was last year. And it's going to keep them in contention. And here's why I think this. Darvish is gone. He's their only real ace there. But they've built this really wacky rotation, right? Kyle Hendricks, Zach Davies, Alec Mills, Arrieta's back. It's all sinkers and changeups. Elzalai is a kind of a slider forward guy.
Yeah, he's the
I
weird
don't know
one.
I don't know what the Cubs are doing, but they're making strong choices. They clearly have a point of view, and I'm not smart enough to figure it out. Eno Sarris talked on Rates and Barrels the other day about how like the Cubs rotation ranks second in their like stuff number. I think there's something going on in Chicago. I don't know what it is, but they're zagging, and I don't think it's just for the sake of it. I think they've got their framework guy and Kyle Hendricks, and I think they're building around him, and they're building the soft contact, and they're trying to use their what should be a solid defense still. And I think they're going to be they're going to kind of surprise, and they're going to be contenders.
I mean, so that NL Central is pretty much just the Cubs and Cardinals at this point, right? Like maybe the Reds, but
Brewers. I put the Brewers ahead of the Reds.
Yeah,
to bounce back. They got Kane coming back. The rotation's always a little bit better than we think it is. They have Devin Williams and Josh Hader in the bullpen. They have some pieces. Their infield is weird, but they have some pieces.
That is true. I do wonder like how long Devin Williams is going to last this year. I do very much feel that he's destined to miss time, which is really unfortunate. But I just pronates so much in that changeup, and it worries me every single time. But yeah, I mean the Cubs. I think you make a good point. They are zagging. I wonder if they're zagging because they kind of have to. Like this is who they had, and then there isn't like that amazing guy that they could purchase. They're trying to cut salary, so they couldn't purchase like Trevor Bauer to get that velocity. And generally on the free market, like if you have velocity, you're gonna cost more. So they didn't really want to pay for it. It just kind of happened this way. But it could work. I think, yeah, they might be saying, look, there's more value in these guys than I think everyone else is giving credit, so we're going to go that way. And I do love that Adzalay is like the odd one. They just happen to have him. I don't fully trust his mechanics yet. I think there's too much going on for consistency, and that makes me a little bit hesitant. But he did change his slider last year, and it was unbelievably filthy. So maybe Adzalay can harness that pitch and his heater to become a number 5, because I don't really expect that entire rotation. I mean, you never see a rotation just go 5 through the entire year. There's always something that happens, especially after a year like 2020 when guys don't have the workload. So yeah, look out for the Cubs. I like that one too. Callan, do you have a bold prediction for 2021?
Yeah, I do. It's as much as I'd like to talk about pitching. I think you guys covered it pretty well. So I'm going to switch over to the batters. I'm calling that AJ Pollock will stay healthy for the first time in a while, finishes a top 30 outfielder.
That is the most bold prediction here. Staying healthy, AJ Pollock. Oh my God.
I know. This took a lot to say, but you look at his StatCast page, he's in the top half in hard hit rate, barrel rate, expected batting average, ex-WOBA. And you look at the projections by ATC, the back X, all have him, if he gets those plate appearances, he's a guaranteed 20 homers, 80 runs, 80 RBIs. He'll steal 10 to 15 bases easily with that speed that he has. So I think that the health is a big thing, but you look at the Dodgers depth chart, there's really no competition for playing time. There's no more Jock Peterson playing out in left field, and maybe he'll mix in Beatty and Rios, and they brought Turner back, but I think that he's got this job pretty locked up right now, and I think as long as he stays healthy, he is a great value on draft day, and someone I'm trying to scoop up in the later rounds.
Yeah, AJ Pollock, great choice. Almost a great last name. Maybe he'll see the light one day and change it to an A instead of an O. Maybe.
I won't lie. I spelled your last name wrong the first couple times I was hired here because of AJ Pollock. So
I've seen people do
AJ Pollock with an A, and I like to think with my fat ego that's because of me. So that's why I can hold on to for a lot. That's a really good call though. If AJ Pollock, I mean, I think what was the projection exactly, Callan? That was really aggressive for him.
I'll call top 30 if you could stay healthy. Just the speed, the power.
Oh, man. And J.R. Keynes, you please don't ever spell my name wrong again. You got this. I believe in you. TC, I don't want to take any more of your time. We have Jordan in the ranks. I'm going to bring him in. That was a fantastic presentation. And really thanks for joining us and being a part of this.
Thanks for having me.
All right. I'm going to bring in Jordan White now of Bunt Singles.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
How you doing?
Not too bad. How are you, Nick?
This is PitchCon Day 2. I'm super excited. And hopefully we can continue to support for Feeding America. Check the link below, go.rallyup.com/PitchCon. Let's get to $4,000 before the end of today. We're trying to get to that 10,000 goal by Sunday. Hope you can help do that. Remember, half of everything we raise goes to Feeding America. And Jordan, I'm going to ask the same question that I asked the other people. bowl prediction for 2021. And if you don't know Jordan White, by the way, you should go listen to the In the Deep podcast with him and Christopher Weber. I actually believe that Jordan White is only here right now because he saw that Schwebs was already part of PitchCon and wanted to join his co-star.
I was just a little bit envious of my boy, of my baseball wife, Christopher Weber. Had to get in here and get to know myself. My wife, yes.
But then you just realize this is just plaid, essentially.
Yeah, it's essentially just plaid.
Yeah, yeah. This is what we do like every weeknight or so inside of our Discord. So if you want to be a part of this, just
wait, Nick, did you say it's closing time?
No, don't play guitar.
Please, no.
Does that guitar look like a baseball? This is important.
There's a video clip, sorry, an audio clip, guys. This is a legend inside of PL Plus where Michael Ahedo is playing Closing Time terribly. And he has two versions. There's one of a very high-pitched one. There's one that's very low-pitched. So what I believe Eric Van Rehen did was combine them and overlaid them into one clip. Horrendous.
We're all about overlays here at Pitcher List.
And then we took it and reversed it. And it is the worst sounding 20 seconds I have ever heard in my life.
Nick, can we get that tweeted out on the official Pitcher List?
No, you have to join PL Plus to get that.
Ooh, I like that, actually.
Of our Discord.
It's like a secret menu item that you get at Starbucks that isn't actually listed on the PL site. You have to join PL Plus to get access to that.
Ahedo style.
We'll send you high-quality
style,
MP3s.
Right?
It could be like the auto message that people get, like when they join. It's just
who
needs a welcome
video? We want people
video?
to stay in the Discord, okay?
They will.
Just stick around.
They get a blank email with that attached.
They'll be too scared to leave.
Nightmares at pitcherlist.com.
Yeah. Jordan, I've stalled enough to give you enough time to give you a bold prediction here.
I don't know if it's necessarily bold, but I just want to highlight it because it's something that my co-host Chris and I talked about, and I am pretty adamant that I'm going to be correct. I think that Austin Riley is going to be a better fantasy third baseman than JD Davis this year.
Oh, okay.
Just like overall, we kind of like the bet that we made was that 5 roto categories being on base percentage, home runs, runs, RBIs, and stolen bases, that Riley would take home 3 out of the 5 categories. I think this is mostly just volume based because I think that Austin Riley just has less resistance at that third base spot. I think that JD Davis now with the signing of Jonathan VR and then also getting Luis Guillorme some playing time at third base, he's just not going to play as many games. So the whole bet that Chris and I have is that if I win our season-long prop bets overall, I have to cook him a vegan meal because he's a staunch carnivore and he has to eat it. And then if he wins more of them, I have to write a sparkling article about JD Davis.
Ooh, sparkling.
Yes, sparkling. Within reason, but
I wonder if we can figure out the CSS to add like glitter to words.
I mean, that'd be fantastic.
I feel like we can do like that 90s GeoCity look if we wanted to.
It's time to roll all the way back. Just slap some glow tags, some marquee tags on stuff.
Yeah.
Shrebsy's saying when I win. Right now, that is Chris Weber, who hasn't changed his Twitch, which I understand. You shouldn't change your Twitch. You should not do that. Leave it as Schwebsy.
He's a real mid-sized streamer, Nick. You got to understand. It's all about that branding.
Our favorite mid-sized streamer.
Yes.
All right, let's shift topics here, guys. Who is someone in your drafts that you are just not drafting at their current price? I'm gonna start with you, Michael Ahedo.
Okay, the first I guess I'm just gonna go with the first thing that came to my mind.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit of a theme in my rankings, but Dustin May, I just don't want. I think he is a legitimate contact suppressor. But like, if I wanted someone like that, I would rather get like Marco Gonzalez or something like that. So
why?
What?
You mentioned Marco Gonzalez. I'm just making that's like my thing apparently this offseason. So I'm just leaning into it. Okay.
What about him? Are we not?
I don't want to draft him either.
Why?
Because he's probably going to be like a 20% strikeout rate, and I don't know if that ERA is going to be better than 390.
I think he's a legitimate. I mean, he's been doing this for like 2 or 3 seasons now.
Last 2 seasons were 4 ERA and 390 with like a 130 WHIP. And then all of a sudden 2020 happened over 12 starts, and now.
But he's finally healthy, and it's bared out in the numbers by his release point and how much he's pitching to the shadow zone. And he also has better framers than he did before. So
Okay.
I'll say,
Valid points.
besides the fact that we're going with a 6-man rotation, and I say we because I'm a Mariners fan, I think he's still going to get that volume, and they're going to be quality. So I think you need
innings per start will be good. He does have a kind of tough.
He led the since I think 2019 or 2018. I think 2019. He's led MLB in decisions.
Yeah, that's crazy. Oh yeah, he had like 17 wins on the Mariners or
So
something like that.
yeah, so and that's with a team that's an offense that wasn't very good. So
Do you think that's sustainable?
I do, and I think our offense is getting better. So I think guys like Marco, Hendricks, Greinke, they're glue guys that allow you to take Matthew Boyd.
Look, I'm just saying, no offense for the Mariners.
I'm taking
anyway,
offense.
So you're not going after Dustin May, okay?
No.
Asher, how about you?
I have the same answer every year, and this isn't going to surprise you. Adalberto Mondesi.
But didn't you watch Austin Bristow's presentation this morning about Spot?
Full disclosure, I missed part of it. I specifically missed the part where he covered Mondesi, but you can't steal first base.
What a coincidence.
Right. Okay. First of all, I should say that I have incurable H2H brain. Like I can't think of you say fantasy baseball, I'm thinking head to head. So the fact that he might put up he's projected for 50 stolen bases, which I don't believe. But like that doesn't matter to me in my gut reaction, but also you can't steal first base. He can't get on base. He can't steal second.
So the best news I will say for Mondesi is like he's not going to get replaced, right? It's the Royals. As much as I'm saying the good things about the Royals, like they're going to let Mondesi go the entire season. And if you saw the Spot, you'll have noticed that there was a 100% gap between Mondesi actually taking his opportunities to try to steal, as opposed to the others.
Well, I guess
it does make a good push that, like, yeah, you are getting your stolen bases. You make a really good point about head-to-head leagues. Like, you can punt it. You don't have to get them. I would say for roto leagues, yeah, it does make a little bit more sense.
He helps you in stolen bases, sure, but he hurts you everywhere else. Like, it's just, and for him to have an ADP of, I'm just going by Fangraphs ADP here, so this might be totally wrong. And wait, where'd that tab go? He has an ADP of 31, which is like, I feel like if there's so many better guys available then.
Sure. Okay. That's a good point. Callan, who you got?
I'm staying away from JT Realmuto. I know he's undeniably the best catcher in fantasy, and there's a huge gap, but you look at his ADP right now on NFBC, he's going around pick 34, 35. I'm not taking that when right around him you can get Nolan Arenado, you can go get a Xander Bogaerts or Corey Seager or at least Robert. There's so many better options that can contribute all over and put up better numbers pretty much in every single category than just to get that catcher advantage. I'll take a bounce back shot on a Salvador Perez later, or I'll even wait late and get a Gary Sanchez for a bounce back. I'm just not paying the premium to get the top catcher in fantasy. It's just never been something I'm going to do, and I don't think I'll do it this year.
So I was doing the removing the thumb thing because I thought you were going to bring up the thumb injury, of course, that right, that isn't supposed to delay him to opening day, but you never like to see any sort of injury at this point to prevent them from getting in some sort of rhythm. It just adds a little extra in your decision making. Yes, that's the noise I make every single time I draft, but I understand the thought process there. There is something about the security and like. I probably overvalue this, but it removes anxiety. Like if you get Realmuto, then you just don't have to think about it, and it's lovely. And yeah, if you go through it and you're like, okay, you know what? No, Salvador Perez, I can probably get him around like the 15th round or something, maybe in this draft because I think these other guys are going to focus on that. All right, I'll probably focus on that one instead, and you can probably game a different thing. I think I take the easy way out and I cheat by taking Realmuto in the 4th or 5th round. I think actually Jeff Erickson took Realmuto in the 3rd round in Labor mixed. So very aggressive there. I get it because, again, he is the premier catcher. But we'll see how much of a gap there actually is. So I understand that one. Callan, Scott Chu, who are you avoiding?
I'm like really torn between like 3 guys that are all in the same area. So I'll pick 2 of them because I think I can talk about them at the same time. That's Jake Cronenworth and Hae-Sung Kim. And that's because I don't like drafting players that I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't know if they're going to play, when they're going to play, how often they're going to play. And they keep signing more infielders. I don't understand it. They keep signing guys that play the same positions. Like, oh, we brought back Profar. Why? You already had too many. I was like, oh, we'll keep Mateo too. No, don't do that. You got too many. That's too many. You can't play them all. Where are you going to put them? So, I mean, like, I'm sure it's good for their depth, but.
Yeah, I'm laughing because if you guys didn't know, right, Chu did the hitter rankings. Chu and I met a couple times, of course, to just go over these rankings and make sure we're all like on the same page and all that kind of stuff. And one of the biggest points of contention we had, and Chu won in the end because, you know, I'm smart. I listen to the smart people, eventually at least, was that Chu was really down on Cronenworth. I was like, I mean, everyone, you know, I'd rather take the chance on this. And it was a lot of pushback, but rightly so. Like, there's so many guys getting that playing time instead of Cronenworth. And it doesn't surprise me now that you bring him up.
Well, to be fair, the main reason I won the argument is because like a week later they signed, that's when they signed Profar. So like that was the easy win for me. I was like, oh, they got another one, Nick. Got to put him down. And then they got another one.
Yes!
Keep moving.
Lowered value. Yeah.
So it was a good discussion. And then the Padres were like, yeah, Nick, you're going to be wrong. We're just going to get more infielders.
Yeah, probably.
We'll just get a couple more.
Probably wrong.
I mean,
Hae-Sung Kim is an interesting one. I'll say that.
I love them both. I really do. Like, I actually like them both as players, and I really want to have this really rosy projection. But it doesn't matter how good you are if you don't play. And there's only so much you can do, particularly like in a 10 or 12 team league. You can't roster a lot of hitters that only play 3 times a week. You know, in like those deep leagues, there's still going to be a lot of value there because there's talent. But in like a 10-teamer, 12-teamer, you can't be using those bench spots for that. You're going to be streaming pitchers. You're going to be holding on to, you know, high upside guys. And while these guys are high upside, they're not going to get the full playing time. And you can't just sit there and wait for that to happen because it's going to be hard for either of them to win the job because they're both good. It's like they can't just, it's going to be really hard to beat each other. They're just going to have to split it up.
All right, so before we go to Jordan, I just want to mention that, Asher, you're doing a whole Orson Welles look right now, and I absolutely love it. Nailing it.
I don't know what that entails exactly, but thank you.
It's called looking good. Jordan White, who you got?
Someone that I actually hold somewhat near and dear to my heart since I am a Brewers fan, Keston Hiura. It's someone that I'm not particularly excited about at
Interesting.
current ADP. I guess for me, is the apprehension I have with him in terms of moving over to first base.
Okay.
And if he's going to be able to handle that defensively, I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. I hope that he can. I think that obviously the power is going to be there, but there's plenty of other guys that you can get that play first base. I actually am, in a way, more excited about drafting Colton Wong, obviously later in drafts, than I am about drafting Keston Hiura this year. I just don't think that the K rate is the thing that scares me the most with Keston Hiura. Like that 30% K rate is absolutely monstrous, and it's always going to be a big boogeyman when you do draft him because you don't know if you're going to get the Keston Hiura from his rookie year where he went and hit over 300 to the one from this past season where he hit 212. Well, that did come with power. That's just a huge ball to be carrying around on your team average wise.
Yeah, Shelly is making a great point. Hiura can't hit those high fastballs, she says. He can't hit that. That's a problem.
I mean, when he does manage to run into pitches, he absolutely crushes them. He can definitely hit the ball hard. It's just, that K rate is just absolutely a no-go for me.
All right, well, I'm going to stop y'all doing hitters. What's wrong with you? And we're going to go to pitchers because I'm sorry, but I'm not a Bassett hound. No Chris Bassett for me in a 12-teamer. He's just way too close to a Toby for me, and the fact that it's just all sinkers that are getting called strikes and secondary stuff, it's very inconsistent. Mix that with the fact that the schedule for the Oakland Athletics is pretty rough out of the gate, and you're going to be making these tough decisions, trying to see like, is it worth it to start Chris Bassett against the Astros? I'm like, I don't want to do that, and it's going to be a painful April, where you don't really know, even when Bassett does well, oh, it came with like 5 strikeouts and it was like 2 earned runs and 5 and change and something. You're like, I don't know if I feel good about this, maybe. And it's going to be a lot of back and forth with it. I know how good he performed last year. It was a near 2 ERA, and he was the ace of the A's, and had sub 4 ERA in 2019 as well. But I just think it's too close to a Toby. I don't draft Tobies, and I've been seeing him around like, what, 50th starter off the board, something like that, 50th to 60th, and I think you're better off taking shots like, hey, you can get Tyler Mahle for, I think, actually a cheaper price or maybe close to it. I would be very much more into Jose Urquidy, for example. I think 2020 was just kind of a thrown-out season because he got COVID and all, and bring me Urquidy where I can make an easier decision earlier in the season. All right, so moving on. Actually, we have Trevor Huth in the wings. I don't know if I can actually add Trevor Huth to the stream. Oh, I can!
Yes.
Huth.
Hi.
Oh, look at that. Trevor Huth. How you doing?
Good. I rushed home from work once I found out that there was some improvising happening.
Well, Trevor Huth is here, our podcast manager. By the way, everyone, go to the link at the bottom. Go.rallyup.com/PitchCon. We are raising money for Feeding America. We hope that you can support. We're trying to get all of our prizes given away. You can sign up for free inside of that link for all these prizes. They're all there. It's like 30 plus of them, but we can only give them out if we raise our goal of $10,000. So please help us get there. Half of all of it goes straight to a fantastic cause in Feeding America. We hope that you can do it. And I hope that's enough time for you to prepare, Huth, because I want to hear both your bowl prediction for 2021 and who you are fading in drafts this year.
Fading in drafts is easier. I'm going to start there. Randy Rosarina.
Okay, I wanted to talk about this, so thank you.
You're welcome. So for me, a Rosarina, just I'm a huge Randy Rosarina fan. I was through his time in the minors when he was coming up with the Cardinals. But he hit an insane amount of home runs in the postseason. And now there is just ridiculous hype around him that I just don't believe he's going to live up to. So I don't want to pay that price for Randy Rosarina. If I can get him later, like, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he'll be great. But he's got a flat bat path that's been well noted among people smarter than me, and that's really good for one thing, and that leads to him being streaky. So even in the minors, he would go on these tears, these absolute tears. But then he would just go ice cold for a long time. And I know that there's going to be a swing back the other way. At least I think there is. And so I'm kind of avoiding him where he's at ADP wise. But again, I love him. I think he's really fun. Like if you go, you can go find him hit an infield triple in the minors. Like he's just so much fun on both sides of the ball. Bold prediction for 2021. Since I missed that question and wasn't preparing for it in my head, just in case you pulled me off of backstage, I'm going to go quite simple, and I'm going to say that Spencer Turnbull is going to be a must-own in fantasy this year.
Ooh.
Yes.
So I mean, essentially that means he's going to cut his sinker and improve his curveball.
I know that's what you think it means. To me, it just means that Chris Fetter and AJ Hinch are going to help him find consistency across his starts, because if you remember, Spencer Turnbull will start with be amazing, and everybody's like, yes, Spencer Turnbull, and then he Spencer Turnbulls, and he's like, oh, Spencer Turnbull. So I think we're going to be closer to the yes, Spencer Turnbull.
Okay. All right, and that was from Trevor, the best chocolate drink, you Huth. So happy that you are here. And we're going to go to the other side now. We're going to go with our favorite draft picks right now. Outside of Tyler Mahle, who would that be, Michael Ahedo?
Oh, man. That's really tough. I'm going to go with Kyle Hendricks.
Oh, why is that?
Same thing as Marco. I think he's the glue. He consistently overperforms his projections, which inherent. I know Steamer is one, but they take fastball velocity into account, and so he's obviously never going to be, get good projections. So I think he's a guy. I think a couple of my league mates that are drafting tomorrow are watching. So JT, turn this off, but. Hendricks is a guy that I'm targeting as, like I was saying, the kind of glue to allow me to take guys like Matthew Boyd, like risks later. But it's not like he doesn't strike anyone out. Like he's not striking out like 14% hitters. So yeah, he's one of my guys.
The way you said get good made me think like Kyle Hendricks is the Dark Souls player of the majors because he got good.
Yeah, I know what that
is.
Dark Souls.
It's a really hard thing to accomplish, but he got good, and he can do a lot with little. So, yeah, I'm totally going to stick with that one forever. Okay.
Sure.
I can totally see. I just want to say I can totally see Kyle Hendricks doing like naked, unarmed level 1 runs in Dark Souls for sure.
Or something.
Like 100%.
What are we talking about now? I don't know what this is evolved into.
Never played Dark Souls. I
haven't. I don't even know what that is.
If you ever wanted to get really, really mad at a video game, like really mad.
No, it's so much fun. You do have to play it like with a friend or something to keep you sane as you die.
I've beaten Dark Souls 2 twice, and both times at the same boss fight, I have literally thrown my controller across the room and stood up and stomped out into my living room.
I can't believe we're already
done
talking about Randy Rosarina. I thought we were gonna...
no, we can do it again. Is there anything you want to add about Rosarina, Hedo?
Well, I'm writing him up right now, and I think there are many signs that he can sustain this, and there are many signs that he can't. I thought it was pretty interesting that Derek Hardy tweeted out the other day that the Bat X, one of the Bat or the Bat X, I think just the Bat, took his postseason, is accounting for sample size, and yet they're projecting him out for 356 WOBA. That's pretty good, especially given his past performance. Then there are some other things. Huth was noting the flat bat path. Say that 10 times fast.
Say it once, Hedo.
Flat bat path. So yeah, I'm just kind of I'm kind of not thinking that he can get to some pitches, and really it's all hinging on the fastball production because he gets fewer fastballs than almost any other hitter. So there's not, I was thinking that pitchers would adjust a little bit more that way. There's not much more adjustment that can be made that way. So if he can hit fastballs like he is now, he should be able to kind of sustain this. I'm just not sure that he can, because this is pretty insane. And we saw guys like Jorge Soler kind of take a step back, whether that's a lot of 2020. I'm just kind of throwing my hands up. Like, everything was thrown off for hitters. So yeah, I'm gonna write it up. I think one of these days people will be like, man, that Hedo hitting article, that was tight. That's where I'm trying to get to. So
so another thing on Rosarina is that I was just told this the other day, and I didn't know that I would ever use it, but here we are. Somebody was listening to a Keith Law podcast, and he said that the Rays had been asking the Cardinals about a Rosarina for like a long time, apparently. Yeah. And finally they just got it. So apparently the Rays see something. So everything I said could be completely wrong per usual, but the apparently the Rays saw something.
Stop talking negatively about Trevor.
I know. I'm gonna when I see you in person, I'm gonna hit you, because unless you say something nice,
you gotta have self-confidence.
But
Sorry,
by the
Nick,
way, anytime I hear the Bat X, I just think it's the former partner of the Bat, and it feels very weird to me. Asher, we're going to go back to you. Who was the person that you are targeting in drafts?
My joke gimmick pick of Alejandro Kirk is not a joke or a gimmick. And some actual pros do like him, which was very validating for me. I like taking catchers way late, and he fits that mold perfectly. And assuming he plays, which is still up in the air, I think that's going to be good value. But also CJ Crone, speaking of the Bat X, his projections are ridiculous. Here's a bold one. it's a big if, because this means the Rockies got to let somebody good actually play. But if he gets a starting job and plays every day, he could be like a top 10 first baseman. I feel like
so young, right? So maybe that means that the Rockies will actually let him start.
That's true. I mean, I also want Greg Bird to do amazingly in Colorado, but that's just a weird personal hang up. That's completely non-fantasy related.
The Bird will have flown in the mountaintops.
You want the Bird to fly high.
I want the Bird to soar through those beautiful mountain passes.
Can you imagine Greg Bird flying? Do you know how terrifying that would be?
Hang on, wait. I got something to show everybody. Hang on.
Now, Ahedo, you're a pitcher, and all of a sudden you see Greg Bird flying in for his at-bat. Do you know how intimidated you? I wouldn't pitch.
Thank you. Who needs walk-up music?
Look at that.
Oh my! What?
Wow.
What is that?
More questions.
What?
I have more questions now than I did before.
They must have given that out at a Yankee game or something like that. Oh wow! What?
That was a Staten Island Yankees giveaway.
That's how they got people there.
Yeah. It's such that I left work and immediately ran down to the ferry for that game because I was not missing out on that. It ended up getting.
Is Ahedo going to come back with one of those now?
We can only hope so.
Oh man. By the way, I'm happy Ben Brown isn't here, as you mentioned, Alejandro Kirk. So that he can stop all talks about that. And you know what I'm talking about, Astros, so be careful. Callan, Elslager, who are you targeting in all of your drafts?
So for right now, it's Ian Happ. I love what I saw last year from him. And I've had a limited sample size. He's leading off the top of the order of a Cubs lineup that, yes, they're going to be probably a worse team than last year. But that top of the order, I can't remember. Someone was mentioning it earlier today, but it still has Bryant, has Baez, it has Rizzo, Contreras. It's still a very good lineup, and now that he's sitting at the leadoff spot, I think he's almost a lock for 80 to 90 runs. He's gonna chip in some steals. He was hitting the ball hard last year in every single statistical category, and he's going outside the top 150. I think that's great value in all your leagues, and definitely someone I want to get on my roster.
Oh man, I just want to be able to draft him and say what is happening, and that's it. That is my team name. And that's fantastic. Where would you be targeting Ian Happ in your drafts? Like, what kind of rounds are you thinking?
I think he should be inside the first 10 rounds, honestly. I think he's, right now, if you look at these 150s, that's about 10th round and 15. So your 12-team leagues, he's probably going 13. So I would put him inside the top 10 rounds easily for a 12-teamer.
Outfield? Or was it 2019? Am I being stupid by thinking he had some second base eligibility for a second?
He's only
I think he's only outfield.
Okay. I just want more second basers. So
Second
basers.
Basers. Doubles?
Nick is a baseball guy.
It sounds like a cricket term.
Hey, he's pitcher list. He's not second base list.
Once upon a time, he was second base eligible like years ago, but that was like before he got relegated to the minors for like a year and a half.
Right. Look, the before times is like all of, I just think 2019 is everything in the before times. Okay.
Maybe in your Yahoo league, he could be second base eligible because they have the wonky eligibility rules.
He stepped on second base on his way to the outfield. So that's how you get the eligibility in Yahoo. He stepped on it on his way out.
2019. Because if he did in 2019, then he would have it in Yahoo. I think actually ESPN is doing the same thing. I could be wrong there. Actually, I haven't checked thoroughly.
A lot of new leagues are carrying over from 2019 as well.
Okay, I feel like every league should, honestly, because there just wasn't enough.
He played. I just looked up. He played 13 games at second base in 2019. So I don't know if that's enough eligibility for your Yahoo.
Not crazy. Not crazy. All you need is 5 for Yahoo from 2019.
Someone
Ian Happ as
so he is a second baser then.
He's a second baser.
Second baserman, yeah.
I just saw someone on the chat say he can be a third baserman too. So
look at all those basers.
Did I just hear third baserman?
Third baserman, yep.
Look at all those basers that he's on.
All right, let's just push this as much as we can. But yeah, I think considering that I talk about a lot, first base, second base, this Huth, you gotta have a plan. And
just wait till you get to me. Just
Trevor
wait.
Huth had to listen to every single mock podcast I did in this winter, and he knows. Like,
I don't know why
made a bingo sheet. It's him.
I don't know why Nick actually individually did the podcast. He could have just used the shell of what he was saying and inserted everybody else's thoughts.
That's what I wanted to do anyway. That was the whole point, was that everyone else could like get their moment to do analysis and not me. So good. I'm happy that's your takeaway from it. But right, second base, you gotta have a plan, and Ian Happ should be a part of that plan. I think that's actually a really good suggestion to make, especially with Yahoo. I imagine ESPN is gonna have 2019 eligibility, so that would be fantastic. Scott Chu, who is your target for 2021?
I've been torn between so many. I wanted to pick Trey Mancini. I wanted to pick Tarek Skubal.
Yeah.
I wanted to pick a lot of guys. Who I ended up picking was actually someone who goes fairly early. He's around the 50th pick. And that's because over his last 162 games, he has 50 home runs, 127 runs scored, and 121 RBI with a 283 average. That's George Springer. He's got a brand new team. He's with the Blue Jays now. He's going to be leading off. He could score a whole bunch of runs there. I'm a huge fan of George Springer, and I don't even care that he doesn't steal bases anymore. He's a really, really good hitter. And while, I mentioned in our rankings, if you want to go to the rankings, you can see why I like him so much. I rank him 8th in the outfield, actually ahead of Kyle Tucker, who I've already, waxed poetic on. And he has playing time problems, right? Like, not because they bench him, of course, but because he gets hurt, right? But even if you give him 140 games, his last 140 games, 44 home runs, 112 runs scored, 104 RBI, and again, like a 280 something batting average. He's really, 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 really good. And he gets treated like not being a nearly elite outfielder. And I don't know why. So I just love taking him.
No, I think that's a really great call. George Springer has always been productive. And he's going to be likely the leadoff hitter in Toronto, where that's an amazing, amazing lineup. I mean, the run totals are going to be absolutely elite. Yeah, he's going, the 4th round now? Back end of the 3rd and middle of the 4th? I am 100% with you, Chu. I think in every single team, you look, we talk about also like the first 5 picks or so, you want to get someone there. Outfielders in 12-teamers, when it's 3 outfields, you do not want to get a ton of outfielders early, because those are the easiest ones to fill in season. So get George Springer as your first outfielder. Get the other more important positions first, where you have a bigger gap in value. I think that's a really great call with George Springer. Nice pick there. Jordan White.
I really like Cole Calhoun, honestly, for redraft leagues.
I think was it you that tweeted that the other day?
No, I did not tweet about Cole Calhoun.
But still follow Jordan at Bunt Singles.
Someone.
Right there.
Well, I'll let you talk, but someone
No, it's okay.
had a really good comparison. I'll find it while you're talking.
Yeah, I mean, going at pick 257 on average in NFBC, and he's, according to BADX, projected to hit 27 home runs, get 82 runs and 83 RBIs, and then a 337 OBP like that. At pick 250, I'm going to take every single day. Just really good. He's going to hit in the heart of that Diamondbacks lineup. As long as he can stay healthy, I mean, you're going to get a guy who produces better than most folks that you're going to get at that 250 spot. So that's what I'm on.
I found, Ben Palmer tweeted out the BatX projections for Conforto and Calhoun going into this year. He has Calhoun, or I guess the BatX has Calhoun losing 7 points in batting average, 17 points in OBP, 5 points in slugging, 2 home runs, 10 runs, 5 RBIs, 2 stolen bases. But Conforto's going at 73, Calhoun's going at 250. So I think it's a little oversimplistic, but I think it definitely, bears repeating.
All right, nice call there. I mean, the Diamondbacks lineup is a big question, right? How much is going to help Calhoun around him to give him as many counting stats as possible? But what is his ADP right now?
257 is the average ADP, I believe.
Ooh, so I mean, that's a really nice flyer to take for someone in the first 3 or 4 spots of a lineup.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's the thing too, is also on the Diamondbacks, I also really do like Christian Walker. He's kind of one of my breakout picks for this year. So
not Kristen Walker.
Walker.
Don't make that mistake like I did in another new league. I think this time last year.
Oh no.
It's quite all right. We're gonna move to Trevor Huth now. Trevor Huth, who are you targeting in your league?
So do you know how in all of the mock draft podcasts, Nick, that in every single one, no matter what, even if there was a fire, you said you need to get your first baseman early? Do you remember that?
I do.
Yes. So I disagree. My
For
guy
7
is
rounds. For 7-8 rounds.
yeah. So my guy is Evan White, who is a first baseman.
White.
Cool. And so the reason is that you can get Evan White super late. I don't have ADP prepared for you. I probably should have. But Evan White, like, I haven't seen him go above like the last round, I don't think. Like, seriously. And I very much loved Evan White throughout the minors. During the second half of the shortened season, so like, a week and a half or whatever it was, he was hitting the ball very hard when he was making contact. He was looking better. He has insane strikeout numbers, so his ADP is not really going to rise. Like, people are going to be worried about his I want to say 40+% strikeout. I am not worried about that, considering he made the jump from AA to Major League Pitching and had a 60-game sample to figure that out. Like, I am so in on Evan White still, especially for where you can get him this year. So I'm all about upside. So like, I'd be happy taking Evan White and just plugging him in at first base and moving on. But obviously he's probably more of a backup plan for most people who aren't insane and bad at fantasy like me. But I'm so happy just to take Evan White and just plug him right in there.
We just said stop that. Okay? We just told you.
Okay, no, see, that is a fact, though. That is not me. Like, I do not win fantasy leags.
I mean, Nick, he is talking about somebody who was player of the week at least once in worst ball last year.
Yeah.
Hey.
Right.
So was Alberto
Mondesi. I
Nick,
don't like rooting for negative performances. It's not my jam. I understand as a game it's a fun thing. You guys have it, but we don't talk about worst ball.
Yeah, but
you can participate
Nick,
that in PL Plus, by the way, as well as many other wacky leagues. And definitely watch Miles Nelson's presentation from last year, how to spice up your fantasy life. Obviously, with the Spice Girls as a recurring theme in it. It's a great presentation. GTA League, a couple other leagues. Blind Co-Manager Draft, which will be presented on Saturday night.
It did happen last year. I don't know if it happened this year. Do you know if it happened this year?
Blind Co-Manager? I heard there was something.
I don't know.
Jordan, you look like you had something to say.
ADP for Evan White is at 402.
Ooh, that's okay.
Come on.
I'm all for that.
That's a huge value that late. Yeah, for sure.
I think that's great. By the way, I see someone at 5 o'clock that has listed his name as Scooter, and it's cracking me up so much right now. I think you guys can maybe piece together who that is, and that's amazing. Sorry. Anyway, now let's go to kind of the same idea. I'm going to ask for a different person for probably you, Trevor, and you, Jordan. But who is your biggest sleeper? We're talking about a guy that is 300, maybe undrafted, but that guy that you really think is not getting as much love as he should late in the draft that you're targeting. In the meantime, while you think about that, I'm going to give one of my targets. It's John Means. I'm telling you right now, if you follow the narrative, I've said it millions of times. If you follow exactly what his skill set was in 2020, it was increased velocity. And eventually when he got into rhythm, 21 strikeouts in his final 2 games, that John Means just has the full blueprint to really impress, have you a 25% strikeout rate with good ratios, a fantastic changeup that I think will just get better, secondary stuff, curveball and slider that can both miss bats and develop as well. John Means is a complete package already, and I think he's just going to hit the ground running in 2021. Maybe not necessarily the first or second start. I think he gets the Red Sox and Yankees, but fine. Worthwhile for your entire 2021 season. Get John Means in your drafts. Might have to go, 13th, 14th round instead of waiting to 16th, 17th. I think it'll be very worthwhile. But we're going to talk sleepers now. After 300, we've got only about 7 minutes left, so we got to go about a minute per person. Ahedo, you're up first.
Man, why are you putting me right away?
Because I'm going in order here.
All right, man.
Okay, fine. Okay. Asher, you're up.
Thank you.
Okay, I had my sheet sorted by first baseman, so this is probably why this was the first name that really stuck out. Heimer Candelario. His ADP's in like the 500s or something.
Oh, yeah.
I'm maybe not high on him necessarily, but that seems real low. That seems like a lot of people have just straight given up on that dude for not a super compelling reason.
Okay, all right, solid stuff. Kellen.
I'm going to go with Josh Naylor from Cleveland. You saw what he did last year in the postseason with the Cleveland baseball team. He was raking against the Yankees. He's going to get pretty much guaranteed playing time. He's going outside the top 400 right now. I think if he's going to have a great year now, he has full playing time. So Josh Naylor is someone I'm really excited about.
Josh Naylor, man, that Cleveland New York series, he exploded, I believe, for a 5-for-5 game. Is that right?
Yeah, he was. He almost made me cry a few times as a Yankee fan.
Yeah,
the way
man,
he was hitting.
People want to talk about a Rosarina helium from the playoffs. Naylor is a guy who people were like, "How's this guy not an MVP?"
Yeah, right. Well, the excitement, the passion is, I think, what enamored us about him. You know, he was just enjoying it and really getting involved. And there are certain times you see in the playoffs, guys performing well, but they don't feel like they're like we would be. You know, as fans, we feel like we care all of a sudden more at sometimes than the players, and that's probably very much not true. But to see it actually expressed in Naylor was really appealing, and you know, made us, I think, relate to him more, which is very exciting. Ahead, I'm going back to you now. You thought I'd go all the way through.
Get
No,
it, baby.
I'm going right now.
Yeah, so I think one that I'm just going to mention really quickly is Ty France, but really my choice is Yusei Kikuchi, who's going at like 323. His FIP and XFIP were already fine. His command plus grades don't grade out very well, but I think he came into the season with new mechanics, so I think there is kind of a chance to clean that up. He throws super hard. He has that hard cutter, and his slider and curveball can both be really good chase pitches. So I love Yusei Kikuchi, and it's a contract year.
Okay, Yusei Kikuchi. I say Kikuchi.
Okay.
And
can someone boot?
He went to Driveline, increased his velocity, which was really good. The cutter, slider, whatever you want to call that. I mean, really, it's a cutter, and then he has another slider.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Like, when he's able to command that properly, fantastic pitch. The only problem last year was consistency. We really didn't see it start to start. We had, I think, a game with 20 whiffs, and it was just like, what are you doing? This is amazing. And then he just didn't really show up again.
I saw that Chamberlain posted his like deserved walk percentage was significantly different than his deserved strike or his actual strike percentage. But yeah, he has the makings to be near ace-like.
I think a great call there. It might be a little bit of turmoil to start, so actually you might have the luxury in 12-teamers to just kind of wait until you get that one favorable start, and don't really worry too much about the rocky ones as long as the skills are there. Like we saw it last year, he had a good performance CSW-wise and everything, but it was against the Astros, so he had like 3 earned runs or 4 earned runs, and then really exploded in the next one when he had a favorable opponent. So definitely monitor that for Kikuchi. Really good call there. Chew, who do you got?
Tarek Skubal.
That's it. That's it. It's just Tarek Skubal, and we're done.
That's it. That's the tweet.
That's it. No, I love everything about the guy. One, he interacts with us, which is awesome. And when you're looking this late, like, yeah, there's upside, but there's also people you want to root for. And there's few people I want to root for more than Tarek Skubal. I love the gas he throws from the left side. I love that he is going to be competing for that rotation spot right away. They've already said that he's got an inroad into that rotation spot. And he's got the strikeout stuff. As much as he struggled with home runs last season, he still struck guys out. He still missed bats. Like, that was the skill I wanted to see, and I saw it. So, and it's not like he was walking guys at an exorbitant rate either, like one of those wild guys from the minors who's just walking everyone. It was a fairly reasonable walk rate. So I think a little more seasoning, a little more time, he could really be a high upside play. Like, it's not as safe as I almost picked Alex Kirilloff just because I know he's going to get to play. He's going to be exciting, but I want to root for Skubal more than I want to root for Kirilloff. So Skubal wins.
There you go. I think second half 2021 Skubal will be really nice. I think there's like a good blueprint. You still need a lot more time. As you said, seasoning needs to be there with Skubal to really fine tune his approach, as he went a little too fastball heavy last year. I don't really think he can succeed with 2/3 heaters at the moment. But I think you're right. There are elements in there. That slider and curveball both should be a big whiff pitch for him, and we'll see kind of how he develops through the year. But this could be the season that we start to see Skubal take off. Love that. I know Huth will love that too, but we're going to go to Jordan White. Who you got?
All right, mine, I'm just going to keep short and sweet. I'm going to say Tanner Houck. He's going at pick 397 on average, and you can read my article that I wrote about him on pitcherlist.com. If you want to get a deeper look into why I like him. The sinker is absolutely sick. The slider is even more disgusting. If he adds another third off-speed offering, he's been working on a splitter. I think that he could be really, really deadly. It's just a matter of if he actually beats out Pivetta for that 5th starting pitcher spot in Boston. So I think that if he does win that spot, he could surprise a lot of people this year.
I like that. Houck also has a chance of getting the Orioles twice at the beginning of the year.
Yes.
We'll see how that plays out. Maybe it could be the Rays, which would be a little bit more frustrating, so definitely monitor that situation. I think he should beat out Pivetta as much as, hey, 2 years old Nick or whatever, 2 years younger Nick. That's much better. I loved Pivetta. I don't really think he's going to beat out Houck, but we'll see what happens. He's my number 100 on the list right now, so I like that pick. And last but not least, Trevor Huth. We got 1 minute.
Logan Gilbert is who I'm going to go with. I'm a huge fan of taking a prospect you think can make an early impact in the last round because I'm a prospect guy. That's what you hired me to do originally, Nick. And Logan Gilbert just has an arsenal of pure filth, and he controls it well. He's got good feel, so I'm all in on Logan Gilbert.
Gilbert, a really good slider, and he's lanky, amazing extension. He kind of goes a little bit cross body on it, but man, does it whip well. So
his extension is wild. Like from what I saw, it was his extension numbers in the minors that somebody got would only be rivaled by like one pitcher on one specific pitch, and I can't remember what it was, but it's
Carter Capps on a fastball. Just kidding.
Cishek or
I think it's Cishek on a slider.
Cishek and Glasnow probably.
Unreal. Anyway, thank you guys so much for this impromptu PL roundtable. I can't appreciate you all enough for just jumping in right now. We hope to fit in Spore's presentation tomorrow. Obviously, everything is okay with him, but he needs to reschedule this. So hopefully we can figure out some time for it this weekend. Maybe we can tack on an hour tomorrow to PitchCon. We'll see what we can do. But you guys are the best. Thank you all. If you want to be a part of this, we do this all the time. We just hang out in Plaid. All of us here, that is Pitch List After It's Dark, inside of our Discord. You just got to get PL Plus, support the site, and you can just hang with us. We do trivia on Tuesday nights. Thank you very much, Jordan.
When I don't fall asleep.
Among Us and stuff.
When I don't fall asleep.
Yeah, unless you go to sleep and you just leave us all hanging. But definitely go get PL Plus. Come join us. And thank you guys really for just jumping on this. This was fantastic. See you guys.
Thank you, Nick.